Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We'll be looking at a whole lot on the show this morning. It was quite an interesting weekend. Yes, and this morning, yes, the yellow-green on the 19 women team putting smiles on our face. Yes, they've done it again, and we are happy that far away in Malaysia, this team is coming good. I will get to that story for you to know what is going on in Malaysia at the ICC Under-19 Cricket Women's World Cup. Yes, I'm full of smiles because the girls have made history. They've created history. Early hours of this morning, that game was up and running, and it was indeed a great job coming in from Sarah Bakikta and our own A-team. That is Blessing A-team, assistant coach to Sarah, the Kenyan lady who's coaching, doing big things with the young Nigerian girls in the cricket world. We'll also be looking at some games, league games in England and Spain, also over the weekend. Interesting matches. And we'll be looking at that results, and NBA also is on the show this morning, and a couple of other stories and some transfers. Also, we'll be bringing you up to speed with what is happening at the Australian Open. Games are ongoing and the results are already coming in. But let's begin from another interesting sports where Nigeria, when it comes to this particular sport, we are trying to hold our own. Talking about fencing. Yes, the international body for fencing has awarded the Nigeria, as in the Commonwealth body, has awarded Nigeria the hosting right of the 2026 Commonwealth Championship. Yes, they actually used the Junior EP Men's World Cup that happened last year in Lagos to see if Nigeria would be able to host the 2026 Commonwealth Championship, and indeed some delegates came down to Nigeria to see the facilities, to see how ready Nigeria will be in 2026 to host the Commonwealth Championship. And yes, indeed, Nigeria was given the hosting right right there by the international body. Nigeria is the first, when we talk about the first of Saharan country to actually bring down the world to this part of the continent. Yes, the Commonwealth Fencing Federation actually approved Nigeria's bid with certain conditions to be met for 2026 tournament. And after that, the achievement follows Nigeria's successful hosting, like I said, of the Fencing World Cup last year. The first time a sub-Saharan African country will be hosting such an event. So we are happy. Well, we are happy that Nigeria will be hosting the Commonwealth Fencing Championship in 2026. More than 10 countries were in Nigeria last year for the Junior EP World Cup, and indeed Nigeria did so well, but didn't finish on the medals table. But at the end of the day, Egypt gave a good account of themselves, Greece and co, in that particular competition. So for Nigeria, we'll be seeing Nigeria hosting the Commonwealth Championships in 2026. It's a good one coming in from the Nigerian Fencing Federation. I don't know if Abba Michael is ready to join up on the show. Okay. Hello, Michael.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I'm ready.
All right. Good morning and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. Let's begin from the fencing sports, and then from the Nigerian Fencing Federation making that huge announcement. They've been given the hosting right to host the Commonwealth Championship, and it's quite a commendable one for this sport that is not known yet to Nigerians.
Yes, I mean, it shows that we have taken a positive leap in the right direction. It shows that our sports is beginning to catch the vision, and it shows that we're beginning to diversify rather than staying put to just football and athletics and basketball. We are beginning to see a potential in other sports, and it will increase our chances, and we have a numeric advantage. I mean, when you have a 200 million nation, you can venture into different sports and thrive. And we are glad that we've been able to secure the hosting rights. I think it's a big one for Nigeria. This calls for a monumental and massive celebration in the sporting world.
Yes, a massive celebration in the sporting world. I know the NSC will also be happy getting this hosting right. Yes, for Nigeria, we just need all the support that is coming in from the Federation President. Yes, Michael, I'm smiling. Yes, good news also coming in from Malaysia. The Nigerian Under-19 women's team made history by beating New Zealand 2 runs in that game. They became the first Nigerian cricket team to beat a top nation when it comes to cricket. When it comes to the game cricket, mostly at an international competition, male or female. Now, the Yellow Greens, that is junior team, did the unthinkable against New Zealand. Earlier as of this morning, that game was played, and it was 2 runs against New Zealand, a top country when it comes to cricket. Definitely, these girls, their first game against another debutant like them, that is Samoa, because of rain. That game, the points were shared. But this time around, also, it was raining. It delayed this game a little bit. But Nigeria did everything within their power, and they got this particular win, 2 runs against New Zealand, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, when I woke up and saw the news, it made my day. I foresee a future where Nigeria will play in an Olympic game, will record gold medals, world victories, that football will not be mentioned, athletics or basketball will not be mentioned, but our names will be topping medals table in other sports. I see us thriving in sports like cricket, in sports like fencing. I see us doing well in other sports, and we are glad that as debutants, I mean, they were able to upset a very, very top team. When you talk about the world powers in cricket, New Zealand is definitely one of them. When it comes to New Zealand, they are known for rugby, they are known for cricket. We pray that the leadership will continue to be steered in the right direction so that we'll continue to hatch more results going forward. I tell you, my day is made, and I'm really, really elated, enthusiastic, and immensely happy for this news. And I pray that we'll be able to maintain momentum so that it will not just be a first round, but we'll see them go all the way and, of course, get a medal.
And get a medal. The Nigerian Cricket Federation, that is Akpata, the president of that federation, Akpata, actually was talking up from their base in Malaysia yesterday that the team is full of confidence. And the coaches also said the team is focused on their next game after that first game against debutant like them, Samoa, where the points were shared in that game, and the rain actually was not helpful to Nigeria, but the coach said no, they've shifted their attention to the next game. And Michael, indeed, we've seen that focus and that attention they shift to the next game, which gave them this result against all odds in New Zealand. When it comes to cricket, these are top country alongside Pakistan and the rest. And this team went to India for a 10 days training camp. We saw what they did against Pakistan in friendly game, and also they defeated Scotland before leaving India, touching down in Malaysia.
Yes, I was very happy. I remember we had this discussion a week ago when they were to face Scotland and Pakistan, I think 13th January or so. And we were able to relieve a hope that as long as these ladies are able to give a good account of themselves, we see them going all the way, I mean, to this tournament to make a mark. And our predictions have come true, and that is the reason why, I mean, we are really celebrating today. We shouldn't wait for AFCON or World Cup or Super Falcons to celebrate, but we have causes to celebrate, and I'm happy that the President Akpata has been able to motivate these players in the right way, put them in the right shape, and putting them in game form, and we are seeing them churning out results. I mean, the last 1 week we have been on high heavens, and we look forward to seeing them conquering the world and going all the way.
Okay, conquering the world and going all the way. All right, we'll have Ayola Delicate joining us this morning. Ayola, yes, welcome to 360 Sports. for the 19 girls, the cricket team, they did the unthinkable. You saw that video clip right just now, and it was an elated one for us, winning against New Zealand. Now we now have a very big one ahead of us, Ayola. We will be playing South Africa in our next game on Wednesday, and if Nigeria wins that game or pulls a draw, definitely we are already through to the next round, because the top two teams will qualify for the Super Six.
Yeah, well, firstly, I want to say good morning to you and good morning to Michael for this show. Thanks for having me once again. And I would like to start by saying the NCF, or the Nigeria Sport Commission, NSC, the Sport Commission. I heard Michael said earlier that they have done a lot for these girls, for them. Well, no disrespect to them and to the men there, the chairman and the director general, but I think they don't have too much credit to take this team. This team is a team that has been built over the years. I think this is the second term of Uyi Apata, and he's been doing it for years, for over 4 years now, building this cricket team. And I think something important he did that people are not taking a look into is going to the grassroots. Almost every school in Benin City here, those State as an example, have cricket pitch. And that is the kind of thing we have in some other states of the country as well, especially in the South. And I can tell you that has helped them a lot, because there are a lot of competitions that they have played in, even Lucky Piety, having a Centurion at some point in time, even when she was under 17. Now the team has emerged, and they are growing, they are becoming bigger. So we are seeing the result of years of labor and of investment. However, taking a look into what they've done so far, unfortunately, rain stopped us against Samoa. We could have recorded our first win, but then it is good for history purpose that we recorded our first win against a country like New Zealand at the World Cup. I think that is a very good one. The rain came at the right time to stop us, to share spoils between Samoa. But going up against South Africa, taking a look into how the girls have been able to prepare the countries they played, they knew they were going to play bigger teams. So they also prepared against Pakistan, Scotland, and they had good preparation, which showed that they know what they want. So for me, I don't want to see South Africa as a too much burden for us. I think we are going to get the needed result against the African side. It's going to be African derby. So I see Nigeria coming top in this one.
Okay, Nigeria coming top is going to be African derby, yes, against South Africa, another top country when it comes to cricket. Like Ayola mentioned, these guys have, in fact, they've been in camp before this, 1, 2 months, 3 months, almost a year now. They went through the qualifiers, and immediately they came back. They just had a week rest, and they went straight to camping. They were in your base, they were in Benin City there before leaving Benin City to Lagos, and Lagos to India. And we have one of the best cricket oval in Nigeria is in Benin City, where you are based, Ayola. Now, looking at South Africa, because South Africa, when it comes to cricket, they have developed, in fact, they are far ahead of Nigeria in this particular sport.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of South Africa's credibility and the capacity, what they can do, especially at this level. South Africa, they took cricket as one of their major games, just like we have in the US, where they don't major in football, but in basketball. So the same thing applies to South Africa. Cricket, rugby, and some other sport that people are not putting eye into. And over the years, they've been able to prove that they are a superpower, especially in cricket and rugby. So it's going to be a difficult one for Nigeria, no doubt about that one, because South Africa, you cannot ask question of who are they or who they are in the cricket world. So, but as I said earlier, I think Nigeria, we know what is at stake. Then we have already set a record now, beating New Zealand, and we want to go further. So the girls are hungry. The federation is hungry. And as Mike rightly said, the Sports Commission also is hungry. They want to record success as early as possible so that they can have the total backing of the government. Because when you start recording success, whatever you demand for, whatever you ask for will be given to you, knowing fully well that you have been productive. So this game is going to be a very big one. But what I just want to say is that I would want Mr. Uyi Apata and the NSC to still motivate these girls more and assure them of a brighter future. It's not about money here. Everything is not money, but assure them of better future. Let them understand that this win is not only for Nigeria, but also for them individually. Because if they fail to win or to advance, people might not remember them any longer. So just get this win and ink your name in the heart of many Nigerians for as many years as possible. You would see that the followership of cricket is even growing day by day. So a win for them against South Africa is going to sell them the more, and it's going to make the sport more acceptable to Nigerians.
Yes, it's going to make the sport more acceptable to Nigerians. Michael, quickly to you, what are your expectations? That game will be coming up on Wednesday. Michael, what are your expectations for the Junior Yellow Greens women's team?
I mean, we have to, say the truth as it is. We know very well, just like Adeleke just said, they are the superpowers when it comes to cricket. If you put on your super sports, if you are not watching football, South Africa are dominating cricket everywhere. I mean, the intimidation is visible. They're even more intimidating than the New Zealand that they just upset. That's the truth. Even
okay. Michael, if you can join us there. The Yellow Greens Junior Women's team. Most of these players were there when Nigeria won the bronze medal at the African Games in Ghana. So we are looking forward to see that against South Africa. Definitely, like Michael and Ayola said, this country is a top country when it comes to cricket. Okay, Michael.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm fully in.
Okay.
Yes, I was talking about the South African.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have the assurance of the backing of the government as long as Nigerians are continuing to put their weight behind. Like Adeleke said, they are going to make themselves sellable. They have to make sure that they leave everything on the floor, play their hearts out, just the way they did against New Zealand. And I think when you give out your best, the future is bright, and you are giving yourself a chance at glory. And if we can nip this to the bud, I tell you what, we may automatically become a superpower nation when it comes to the cricket sport. So we want to wish them all the best and hope that they go there and give their best to see them clinch this one for us.
Yes, definitely. If Nigeria wins that game, they will be topping that group. Group C, they are in Samoa, New Zealand, Nigeria, South Africa. All of them are in Group C of the Cricket Under-19 Women's World Cup. That game will be played on Wednesday. You are sure that you'll be getting the result of that game on our sports show 360 Sports. Definitely we'll be bringing you up to speed with happenings right there in Malaysia. All right, let's leave cricket now and talk NPFL. That is the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yes, one team, they are just close to us here, to the FCT. That is Nasarawa United. They have resumed closed camping. When we say closed camping, it is a camp that is not allowed for. It's not a general or an open campaign where you can see what the players are doing. Now for Nasarawa United, they really need to put their acts together and get the second stanza better. If not, they will be kissing the NPFL goodbye and go back to where they are coming from, because they got promoted last season from the Nigerian National League. Ayola, for Nasarawa United, it is not the kind of season they expected, but so far so good. They have the second half of the season to redeem themselves if they are to stay in the top tier league of Nigeria.
Yeah, I think saying that they have 10 games to save themselves will be the right word here, because you have 19 games left, and from the 19 games you should be playing about 10 games or 9 games away from home. And you know how NPFL works. So the first stanza is when you should be able to get that point. If you want to escape relegation, if you want to win league as well, the first round should be the round where you amass as many points as possible, because second round is always a very dicey one, a very difficult one for teams. But for Nasarawa United, I don't want to predict a future, a doomed future for them. But I feel just a couple of days ago, they unveiled 8 players to their team, meaning that they also know what is at stake. and they know the importance of them escaping that relegation zone that they are in. But the question is, can they do it? Because other teams, take a look at them who are ahead of them, also want to come out of the relegation. Aqua United also, who they are there together, are also recruiting players. And I think it's going to be a very difficult one for Nasarawa, very difficult one for them. I don't want to say they will not make it. I don't want to say they will make it. But I think their chances of making it to the NPFL for next season, that is retaining their status in the NPFL, is very slim. But I wish them all the best, nevertheless. And I want being in close camping. Yeah, the players they brought in, they should have some behind the closed doors friendlies to create synergy and get to understand each other before the season resumes. But I still wish them all the best. That's what I will say for now.
Okay, you're wishing them all the best. For Nasarawa United, they have to do all they can if they are to remain in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Michael, I will not ask because they are your neighbors. Nasarawa to Plateau State, where you are, it's not far. But let's go talk about Enyimba now quickly. Michael, I will start with you. For Enyimba of Aba, they crash out of the CAF Confederations Cup after losing 3-1 to Zamalek of Egypt. And the two Egyptian teams in that Group D qualified. The Black Bulls and Enyimba crashed out from Group D. They lost. The only goal that came in for Enyimba was scored by Ihemekwe after Zamalek went up in that particular game. But for Enyimba, crashing out of the CAF Confederations Cup, it's not really looking good for all Nigerian clubs, in fact.
Yes, I mean, it's really bad. When you look at, in hindsight, how long it has taken Nigerian teams to perform at the CAF Champions League or CAF Confederations Cup level, it's looking bleak because we've not really had any decent breakthrough in almost a decade. I know Remo tried one time as if they were going to, break the slack, but they couldn't. And some of our teams will try to get into the money spinning group stages. No way. Before you know it, they are crashing. Sometimes they'll be leading the first leg and then they're out. I mean, we know Enyimba as the back-to-back 2003, 2004, CAF champions. And then even the Confederations Cup. I mean, we wanted them to have their hands on it because they've not won that particular one. But it's still not looking good. There's always the domestic league to fall back on. And I think that's the level we are now. They have to fall back to the domestic league. After all, I think they are 7-time winners. And they won 2 seasons ago. They can direct all their attention back to the domestic league and see if they can regain all the lost momentum because of the distractions. So that is the level we are right now. But we can only wish Enyimba all the best. The People's Elephants, we know them as the legendary team all the way from Aba. And this is a sad one coming from the CAF. And we hope that we'll begin to do things right so that next time our Nigerian teams can at least get to the money spinning group stage. And who says we cannot win CAF Champions League again? Okay. It all depends on what we have been doing. After all, there's monies have been injected into the sports. So let's see if it will go a long way in helping us.
Let's see if we go a long way in helping us. Ayola Shalabi got Zamalek on early enough in that game before Jaziri doubled the lead for Zamalek. Ayola. Now, let's have the table for Group D. Now, bringing in Sterling Eguma, Ayola, do you think did it actually change anything? Because Sterling Eguma coming in was to save Enyimba, most especially on the continent, because the league definitely they will still do well in the league. But I think the major reason of Sterling Eguma coming into that team after the sack of Olariwaju is to see how he can rescue their continental engagement.
In all honesty, if you are a follower of Nigerian football and African football, I don't think there was any time Stanley Eguma was going to rescue Enyimba. No disrespect to the man. He's been there on the continent over the years. But I think Enyimba got things wrong from the beginning of the season. Not with Yemi Osinbajo is not the problem of Enyimba. I must say that, in my opinion. But I feel that things weren't just working fine the way it ought to be. Enyimba were playing fine under Yemi Osinbajo, just that they were scoring the goal. And what came to my mind is, what we call player power. Probably some things happening in the dressing room that led to the players deciding to be unprofessional at some point in time. But bringing in Stanley Eguma, we've seen some flashes of what they can do. But the question is, how long is it going to take before we see the real problem that Enyimba, has in the team? But by and large, not a bad one for Nigeria. I think we have been able to retain our first slot for next season, talking about the 2 in the Confederation Cup and 2 in the Champions League, thanks to Lunda of Angola, who defeated Malian side, and we are able to retain that 4. But what I want to say is, Nigerian teams should be intentional about progress. We should know what we are doing. They should not, because when you take a look at Enyimba now, before the next season starts, you would see some of these players leaving the club, meaning some of them are signed on 6-month basis, some are signed on 1-year contract just because they want to play continent. So, and there will be no growth. Look at these northern clubs we are talking about. They sign players for a long time, and that is working for them. At least the minimum you sign for them is 4 years. But that is not the case in Nigerian clubs. I have said this over time. How I wish that we can take borrow some leaf from what is happening in Saudi Arabia, where the government pumped money into those club loans, and you give them certain years to return this money. Let them invest, let them buy players, let them create meaningful philosophy in their team, and you'll see that a lot of things will change for good for Nigeria. Because the truth of the matter is, if care is not taken, the way we perform this season is the same way we are going to perform next season. We're just going there now to make up the numbers. Nigeria currently ranked 12 in Africa when it comes to club football. That is not encouraging. There should be more, intentions on how to get better, on how to do things right. That's what I want to say.
Okay, how to do things right. We drop from the 10th position on the rankings, league rankings on the continent of Africa. For Nigeria, let's see how it goes. But Enyimba, well, they say he who fights and run away lives to fight for another day. So next season, if they are able to make it there, fine. And if they're not, well, let's see the club that will represent Nigeria on the continent. And it just said it thanks to Luanda FC of Angola, who did that job for us. If not, we would have been going back to the continent with just 2 clubs. All right, let's go straight to the English Premier Football League. Olaino is this time now the best right wing back in the world as we speak. Yes, you heard that from me. A lot of pundits also, Olaino right now is the toast of Nottingham Forest. Is one of the best players we have in the English Premier Football League. Yes, he was so good, fantastic yesterday for Nottingham Forest, and also a last-minute save from him, a goal line clearance, ensured his team got all the maximum 3 points. Let's look at the result quickly before my 2 analysts will react to the results. Let's have the English Premier Football League results, and for Olaino, a good job for him for Nottingham Forest, and we are happy that he is one of the important players for Nottingham Forest. All right, Newcastle United were beaten at St. James's Park by Bournemouth 4-1. Liverpool defeated Brentford 2-0. Fulham also beat Leicester City at the King Power Stadium 2-0. West Ham United lost to another London team, Crystal Palace 2-0 at their home ground. Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium for Unai Emery. He was always there to prove a point to Arsenal that yes, whenever I meet you, instead I beat you or I get a draw. It was 2-2 between Arsenal and Aston Villa. Everton 3-2 against Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United, the theatre of dreams has now turned to theatre of nightmare for the players and the management. Is a 3-1 they lost to Brighton, home and away. Brighton did it this season. Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, indeed, they defeated Southampton. Both Nigerian players on both sides did well. Paul Onuachu getting his first goal, EPL goal for the season for Southampton. It was 3-2. They had to fight that win for Nottingham Forest, and Ipswich Town were hammered 6-0 by Manchester City. Michael, yes, quickly, just for all I know, fantastic game for Nottingham Forest against the opponent, that is against Starter team. It was a tough one, but they had to keep. In fact, they fought for that 3 points and they got it.
Yes, I mean, when I saw Lionel's performances today, I just felt in my mind, perhaps because I'm a Nigerian, I felt that perhaps we have the best right back and maybe the best right winger in the world in Saka, who is playing for English team. My challenge with Olaina sometimes is the fact that when he's in the Super Eagles, we don't see him playing with this intensity. Rather, sometimes we notice errors upon errors. If you look at the AFCON finals, but when he's playing for his club where he gets his pounds per week, I mean, we see a different Olaina. I was so proud of him yesterday. That clearance at the dead to save the bushes of Nottingham Forest. The fact that they have tied my own Arsenal on points, but I don't care for the fact that he's a Nigerian. I mean, Espirito Sanchez has really inserted some spirit into these players. We see them playing their hearts out. They got it right from the start. First match against Liverpool, clinching all 3 points. And so many have tagged them pretenders, but right now they are looking like contenders, because even the ones you call contenders, one is on 15th, one is on 16th, talking about Tottenham, talking about Man United. But look at Nottingham Forest. Online was one of the reasons why they are where they are at the top of the table, being just tied on points with Arsenal on 44 points. So we must give kudos to our own, and I expect all the blogs, all the newspapers, as far as Nigeria is concerned, be it Sun, be it Daily Trust, whatever, Daily Post, we want to see online all the headlines, and that's the publicity we need, that's the visibility we need for our players. It's not only Victor Osimhen, it's not only
It's not only Victor Osimhen, it's not only Ademola Lookman. And those players you mentioned also were instrumental over the weekend for their various clubs. Ademola Lookman on the score sheet, fantastic goal despite the loss to table toppers Napoli. We'll be looking at Serie A on the evening sports show. Let's look at the English Premier Football League table before we go straight to Ayola. Let's look at the first side of the table quickly. We have Liverpool
leading but we still after that have a certain online, who is an authoritative back, but hold our heads on high and say performance playing for Espirito Sanchez.
22 and 11, separating Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. Man City now moves to the 4th position after that 6-0 thumping of Ipswich Town with 38 points, level on point with Newcastle United, who lost their game, but goal difference of 2 separating Newcastle and Manchester City. Chelsea 6th position, who has a game in hand with 37 points. Bournemouth is on the 7th position with 37 points. We have Aston Villa, Brighton, who defeated Manchester United on the 9th position, that is Brighton, with 34 points. And Fulham occupies the 10th position with 33 points. The flip side of the table quickly. Let's look at the flip side of it. We have the flip side of the table. We have Brentford, we have Crystal Palace, Manchester United retain and remain on their 13th position with 26 points. Crystal Palace 27, Brentford 28, West Ham United, Tottenham, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, and Southampton remains at the bottom of the English Premier Football League. All right, that is it for the English Premier Football League. Let's go straight to La Liga. Let's have the result on the screen while Ayola would react. Ayola, for Kylian Mbappe, he was on the score sheet, not just on the score sheet. He got an hat-trick for Real Madrid in that game, 4-1 against Las Palmas, after Las Palmas scored one of the earliest goals this season.
Yeah, no one would have thought that Kylian Mbappe would have been struggling for Real Madrid since when he came around. People have written a lot of things. They said a lot of things about the young man, whether he's a flop or not a flop. But at least he's been able to gather 10 goals in the league prior yesterday's game. And yesterday, he added hat-trick to make it 13 goals for himself now. And I think this is the kind of performance he needs. Talking about Mbappe now to to get things right and to continue to fire on all cylinders for Real Madrid. Madrid got the win, hat-trick for Mbappe, and they are back on the top of the log now, ahead of Atletico Madrid, who after about 14, 15 games winning streak, we're sitting top of the La Liga table. But now they are back in the position, and I think the joy, the excitement all over Carlo Ancelotti is, very, 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 evident that his team are back there, not only because they won the game, but because people have said a lot of things about them losing some cup games to Barcelona and not able to maintain the leadership position on the La Liga table. But now they are back there. A good win for them, a good one for Kylian Mbappe as well. I wish he can build on this one and bang in more goals for the Los Blancos, so that at least by next season he can start claiming his titles. I mean, his individual titles.
Okay, individual titles. Let's quickly run over the result for Espanyol. It was 2-1 against Real Valladolid in that game. Girona lost to Sevilla. It was a sigh of relief for Sevilla in that game. 2-1 against Girona. Leganes pipped Atletico Madrid 1-0. We have Real Betis who lost to Deportivo Alaves 3-1. Getafe and Barcelona shared the points in that game. 1-1 it ended. Celta Vigo lost to Athletic Club 2-1. And then we have Real Madrid hammering Las Palmas at their home ground. That is Santiago Bernabeu 4-1. Osasuna and Rayo Vallecano playing a 1-1 draw. And then for Valencia, they pipped Real Sociedad. That is the team, the new team of our own, that is Sadiq Umar. That is Valencia now. It was 1-0 against Real Sociedad. Let's have the table. Let's look at the Spanish La Liga table. You heard it from Ayola. Real Madrid is back to the top of the table. We have with 46 points, Atletico Madrid is second with 44 points, who lost their game. Barcelona has 39 points. Third, Athletic Club is on the fourth position with 39 points and 13 goal difference. We have Villarreal, Real Mallorca, Real Sociedad has 28 points, 7th position. Girona is on the 8th position with 28 points and 1 goal difference. And then we have Rayo Vallecano on the 9th position with 26 points. And then we have Osasuna on the 10th position with 26 points and minus 5 goal difference. The flip side of the table, quickly, let's look at it. The flip side of the table, we have Sevilla, who are 11th with 26 points now. Real Betis, Celta Vigo, Las Palmas, Leganes, Getafe, Deportivo Alaves, Espanyol, Valencia, and Real Valladolid. For Kylian Mbappe, yes, one of those goals was disallowed in that game after a VAR check. He scored a brace and also had an assist in that game. All right, let's quickly go away from the Spanish La Liga now. We'll look at the NBA. Let's look at the NBA, the biggest franchise in the world. That we have some games. Michael, I will come to you because this is one of the games you love so much. We have Brooklyn Nets, who lost to Oklahoma City Thunder by 26 points in that game, 101 to 127. Philadelphia 76ers 109. They lost to Milwaukee Bucks, who scored 123 points. Washington Wizards lost to Sacramento Kings by 23 points with 123 to 100 points for Wizards. And the Chicago Bulls also lost their game to Portland Trail Blazers, 102 points for the Bulls and 113 for the Blazers. And the Lakers and Clippers, it was 102 for the Lakers and 116 for Clippers. Michael, fantastic results in the NBA.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you look at the Oklahoma City top, they have a certain guy called Gilgeous-Alexander, the most slick and freaky player in the NBA right now. I mean, he's the leading scorer in the NBA and the front runner for MVP. When being the best player in the league, but this guy, as far as current, he should be the MVP. If he should be handed over today, he is. And closely to him is, of course, the one they call Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, a Nigerian Greek freak. He's also the second leading scorer in the NBA. Last night, he was able to put up big numbers. I think he put up about 38 points and 10 rebounds or so, 13 rebounds for the Milwaukee Bucks, followed by Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard had 25 points and I think 7 assists. Both of them are max players and they are among the top 10 players in the league. I mean, one team alone has 2 big players. And we also want to do shout outs to Sacramento King. De'Aaron Fox is averaging just maybe 22 points a game. Domantas Sabonis is very close with him. And DeMar DeRozan came from Toronto Raptors, doing very well for Sacramento Kings. And they are above 500 at the moment. LA versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, the Clippers have seen Kawhi Leonard back on a good day when he's back to the league. He's shooting guard small forward in the league. And Norman Powell should be an all-star. He's averaging 23 points for the Clippers this season.
Okay.
40 years old, all-time leading scorer, dominating the NBA. I mean, it is what it is.
Yes.
I can go on and on when it comes to the NBA. Stats are right at the tip of my fingers.
Yes, LeBron James is one player at 40 years of age, still waxing strong and doing big things. Also, his son is also playing alongside him. All right, let's leave the NBA quickly. We'll look at some transfer stories on the show. We'll just look at this one in the NPFL. One transfer now in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Usman Bashir has left Enugu Rangers to join up with Sunshine's Stars of Akure. He has only scored 1 goal this season for Enugu Rangers after falling down the pecking order in the front line for that is the Flying Antelopes. And then this one in Europe, Manchester City considers loan move for Juventus midfielder Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz, he was with Aston Villa before going to the Italian Serie A. And then AC Milan, who talks with Chelsea forward João Felix. João Felix is a Chelsea player and he's looking forward to that. Before we go away from the show, quickly, Ayola, we'll come to you. Sinner, that is Yannick Sinner, world #1, actually fought to defeat, that is Danish Ruin, to reach the last 8 of the Australian Open. Ayola, quickly.
Yeah, a good one for Yannick Sinner. The guy is not a sinner anyways, but he was able to get a win over Ogarin, winning his weekend for him. And I think that is the best way to solidify your position at the top there, being #1 player in the ATP. But I wish him the best. I'm not happy that he's outshining my boy presently, talking about Carlos Alcaraz. And I believe that with time, they're still going to meet again in this tournament because I see Alcaraz defeating Djokovic in the quarterfinal games, at least to even things 4-4, despite having one behind against Djokovic. So a good one for Sinner. There's no better way to maintain and to stamp your authority at #1 in the world than to have that win and get to the quarterfinal. Let's see what he has left in his racket for the tournament.
Okay, let's see what he has. Well, congratulations to Yannick Sinner for progressing. He actually won that game 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2 against the Danish player. And then in the women's version, we have Elena Rybakina was upset by Madison Keys. Madison Keys defeated Rybakina 6-3, 1-6, 6-3 on Margaret Court Arena. The great Margaret Court to extend her winning streak to 9 matches. All right, this is where we'll be leaving it on 360 Sports. Thanks to you, Michael, for coming on the show, 360 Sports, and to you also, Ayola. It's a good one having you guys talking sport this morning on Trust TV.
Yeah, shout outs to Aaron Apadri for making the semi-finals of the WTT Doha.
Okay. All right, that is why we'll be leaving it on the program. 360 Sports. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.